just push through the center here, as we do. We'll support the pawn. They're going castling. Is there anything we can give them to think about beforehand? I think we'll just keep it nice and simple. Let's just bring the bishop out. Got the bishop here because potentially their bishop is probably going to come and hit our bishop. Right, so let's castle. But the ordinary scheme of things is the dark square bishop's not currently out, but it's a case of, based on our experience, it's whether it needs to at this moment in time or not. Is there anything else that needs to be done? Doesn't look like they've got any attacks coming towards us, so I think we will be moving the dark square bishop out. Give our king some company. Let's just bring it out. Okay, they've got their knight out, so knee-jerk reaction would be to just take it off the board. Does then develop their bishop, which would then have a 2-on-1 on our e-pawn, so the knight would also be on there as well. We don't have to take because the queen is protecting the knight at the minute. We can move the knight, attack their dark square bishop, but their white square bishop's going to take, kind of doubles our pawns. We could move the knight to the other side, b5. Maybe we don't need to focus on that and we're focusing on the wrong thing. Is f4 working? f4, then f5. Getting closer towards their king area. Anything else? Is it just getting the queen off the back? d2. Options and choices. Which is the best one? We're not going to take, so I think maybe if we're looking at minimal development, queen comes up, this knight's chomping at the bit to move, isn't it? So I think if we move there, he would take the pawn because it's on our queen. Our bishop would take because he's on their queen. Then his queen takes and is protecting the knight. But it does get a little bit murky there, doesn't it? Anything else we can do? Knight's not moving because the pawn, yeah, nearly started doing the arrows then. Knight's not moving because the pawn is being attacked by the knight. I want to do something proactive, but I like the f pawn. Reason why I'm going with the f pawn is because at this moment in time there's no dark squares coming and hitting the king because they're all blocked off. I'm going to push the f pawn and expect No arrows. It's hard to get out of that practice because you want to demonstrate what you're thinking. But yeah, h6 probably. Bring the bishop back. I'm gonna take. It's just a knight for a knight anyway, so I don't know what I'm getting all squinchy about. It's not a free knight. For a moment I thought it was a free knight, but we had a knight there, didn't we? So I did all that. I was very excited thinking I've got a free knight, but I haven't. So the h6 is in and just moving it, obviously. Giving the king some company, coming round the back. This is obviously hitting. I know I said I weren't doing the arrows, but let's just bring the bishop back. So they're giving us something to think about. Our bishop's going to have no protection when the knight moves, so do we come and just protect the bishop with the queen? Are we losing out anyway? There's no attacks, is there? No. I think bringing it here, just protecting the bishop because the knight's chomping at the bit to move. Oh, it could do that same thing, couldn't it? Oh, that same thing we talked about earlier. Knight taking the pawn, it's going to be on the queen. He takes, we take, his queen takes, gives us time to move. Knight can just take, can't it then? I hate tactical chess play with a passion. I love, but yeah, it's moved, but yeah, and it's attacking the queen. The bishop can take, but so we'll continue with what we said, which was this. We'll go like this. Get in there, queen. He's not taking our queen. So we can take. Brings their bishop into line. We don't have to take, but I think we're going to. Bishop comes down to attack. He's in my king area. This pawn's got protection from the knight currently. Don't overthink it. Nice and steady capture. Queen can attack the bishop because it's got no protection on. Pawn can hit the bishop. Goes back again whence it came. Let's just hit the bishop with a smaller piece. What's the plan of action? What's the strategical plan type thing? I mean, we've already got these in position. Excuse me, arrows. We've already got the queen and the rook in position, training towards the king area. Knight's got a nice check on the king. Queen just takes the pawn. So I think this rook needs to get into the game a little bit. So I'm going to bring this rook first and then consider jumping. Damn. Consider jumping the knight in. I've done it on a few games where I've kept my hands off the arrows. I think my brain was moving slower then. I need to check. So it's moved out of the way from the knight check, which seems okay for us at the minute, but it seems like they're planning to jump onto the b6 with the queen and attack the b pawn. The knight goes up to d5, then goes to c. No. Not the, that's E, sorry. E7 with a check on the king. Give them something to think about. Long-term plan on this F file. Might be a bit too slow. Push the pawns up towards the king. Remove the knights. Stops his queen from going to B6 anyway. And there's not much that's troubling the knight in that position. So I'm going to just go with this knight. And it's got playability here. It's stopping the queen from jumping here. And they are not a fan of our plan of the F5 maneuvers. Okay, so we look like we're going to be pushing the E pawn. E and C, I get them all mixed up. Pushing the E pawn onto their D pawn. Making a bit of way there. Our knight is going to have no protection, but the queen could take their C pawn if he does capture. I'm going to push. Does capture. Queen can take this pawn. Just thinking the queen is going to be getting our knight. We can take the pawn here. Can take with the rook because the rook's then defending. It's got a white square bishop, so the rook should be fairly safe. And looks like we're potentially owning the file for a brief moment. I think we will go with the rook taking. Queen is also on the C pawn as well. So the long-term strategical plan is one file out, which is on the E. So we can take the pawn. Is there any hidden gems? Take the pawn with the queen. He's got a 2-on-1 on the knight. Any checks on the king at the minute? Not really. There's no X-rays. Knight's got a nice jump though, hasn't it? Like we said, the original move. I don't think they're going to let that happen. I think the bishop's going to go for a trade down and look for a draw of some sort. Pawn majority wise, we're +1. Got pawn majority on this side, equal on this side. If it does go into the proper full-on end game, we'll have to jostle supporting the extra pawn. You would think they would go for the attempt at going for the draw, because this knight is probably going to be a bit of a menace. Time wise, we're down to 10 minutes. Trying to utilize classical thinking, trying not to let narration mode take over. So they've gone for a bit of art, which means we will get the rook off the board depending on if it works, because our knight can put the check on the king. So I'm going to bring the knight here with the check on the king, which is forking the rook. Doesn't mean we've won anything, you know. It looks nice and pretty, but there's always underlying counter attacks that the opponent finds. So I don't think I'm going to mess around too much, but before we jump into just grabbing the rook, is there an actual checkmate type position or a move that is better than that? That's not a queen and the rook's defending. Knight could take the pawn, but it's not really any good. I think we're just going to take, then the queen takes. And then we can take this pawn. Oh, mind you, the queen's defending as well. So it is a bit... it's not clear still. I really just dislike the positions like these when there's a better move that you could make rather than going for what you plan to go for. I don't see it currently. There's nothing in there. If the rook goes... no, I think that'll be a waste, won't it? I'm just trying to improve my position, but it's not working. This can't attack here, sorry, no arrows. Rook can't attack the queen. I'm going to just take the rook, because I'll overthink that for too many minutes. Right, so it does give us time then to be able to get this rook in, or this rook here, to double up. I think supporting the rook owning the file is probably better. Oh, before I do that, wow, his bishop is angled right here, but it's not got a check on the king. Gonna double the rooks. Simple chess. With the potential idea of getting onto that e7 with the rook maybe facing the king. Thankfully the rooks are on dark square, so the bishop can't go and harass them. It might do a bit of interference though, that bishop. Might go to e4. Why do I get them mixed up? To e4. It's not, it's actually attacking our queen. So the queen can go to e7. Maybe? What's my way in? What's the way in? Somehow this, then it's attacking this pawn here. His rook comes to attack. Move the queen out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna just go with this, don't overthink it. Be careful of this, because he's got checks on my king with the queen, if anything. So we're opposite their king now, but we don't have anything behind the queen to help support the attack. No squeezing down here to put any damage on. This pawn with the diagonal is quite juicy, but it's protecting it twice with the queen and the rook. So my main pieces are on dark squares. Yet again, bishop, nullifying the bishop, but I think they're going to do the intermission or the intercepting or interrupting thing and just attack this pawn and just blocking the power of the rooks. That's what I think they're going to do. So I'm not a fan of queen greedy munching, but if they allow us, we take for the only for the sole purpose of the rook coming here and facing the king. If they allow us. The bishop's gone, so it is attacking the pawn, it's just gone a different way. So we can take the pawn with the queen with our plan of coming here. Bishop takes the pawn, or even the queen takes the pawn. It does give them that diagonal with the check, but the rook and the rook come E. Yeah, right, okay. I'm going to use my arrows. So we take, and the queen goes, ha ha ha, I got you. Maybe it comes down with the queen, maybe not. Maybe the bishop takes. Either way, one of them takes. We bring the rook up here, we're facing their king. And we're no longer protecting this square now. So the queen goes back up, or the queen goes here with a check on our king. We move it onto a dark square into the corner. Does it have... Can't come on the back, and there's no further checks. I think it's doable. The queen has come down, and we did do our workings out. King is going to be safe here, I'm sure. Going to bring it up. Because he can just defend. Queen's on the... Oh, Oh, he's going for a mate. Look at that. He's going for that. Put a check on. Probably one move behind, isn't he? Because we'll get a mate in the next move. Well, not the next move, the move after. There's nothing stopping that. So then the queen can come here. That was very lucky. Good game.